Friends, today I wanted to get outside because it's such a beautiful day on Tampa Bay and do a comparison between two of my newly acquired button lock knives. And we are down here at the Kissing Tree, that little harbor, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this tree in a minute. But what makes it so special right now is on this branch is our first competitor in the button lock challenge, and that is the Protech Malibu with its reverse tanto blade and dragon scale grips. And you can check out the unboxing video right here that I put up yesterday. And its competitor, well, it's the Civivi Starflare with its Warncliffe blade, button lock, and it's got the lime green with the little meteorites on the handle there to give it texture. And I did that one last week, so you can check for that video in my playlist. But these two knives are very comparable, and they both did excellent in the paper cut test during the tabletop review. Both of them got 5 stars for being sharp right out of the box. So before we move on, let's talk about the Kissing Tree here. If you can see, look at all the Johnny Loves, Lori, and just all these different, everybody's carved their names, everybody, this person plus that person, look all over it. J plus A, and I don't know what that one says, but H plus L. You know, that's why we call it the Kissing Tree. Just everybody's got their initials and who they love carved all into this thing. Look at it. There's not a spot hardly that isn't filled up with somebody. And it looks like John and Brandon. Well, those two fellas, they look like the most recent ones that carved their names into it. But I found a little blank spot and put my initials in there just for the heck of it. Alright, so back to the battle of the buttons. But before we get started, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with any of your friends who like similar knife content. It's what keeps the channel going. Alright, so the Protech was 3.8 ounces, had a 3¼ inch blade, and a 7½ inch overall length. The Starflare was 3.45 ounces, had the same length blade, but it was 8 inches overall because it gave us a ½ inch extra in the handle. Alright, so we had a little bit bigger handle on the Starflare. Starflare wore on the handle. But you know what? The pocket clip on the Protech I think is a little bit nicer. It's a little better design. Slightly, not much, but it won out, and the texture on the Protech with those dragon scales is much nicer and gives a lot better traction. So the Protech won there. Now the Civivi on this button lock, it is a lot better flipping out. The ball bearings are better. The button is easier to push. This one here, the Protech, well, it wasn't as smooth when trying to use the button to flick it out. Don't get me wrong, those bearings are very smooth. It's just the action a little different. But you do have this flipper here that the Starflare doesn't have, and let me tell you, that is a magic button right there. When you use that, it is night and day. So once again, if you forget about the button trying to open it and deploy it and just use that thumb stud, Protech wins out when it comes to that. It is a lot nicer because these thumb studs, they're a little hard to use on the Starflare. But that thing works really good. I'm going to have to give the edge to the Protech. The bearings are better on the Starflare, but the thumb stud is much better on the Protech. Alright, so let's carve up some cardboard here. And the microphone is right next to my mouth, so you're going to have to excuse my breathing. I let the volume up because I wanted you to hear the blade going through the cardboard. Now as smooth as we expected, is it? No, it's kind of hard. It's not really slicing through there very good. Let's try out the Civivi. Yeah, that's how it should work. Just do some plunge slices. Protech is nowhere as smooth as this Civivi. It takes a lot more pressure to pull that through that cardboard. Let's do some slices here. Alright, let's see what we got. Now, there's a little bit of tape back there. And a sticker. Still going right through it. This is a terrific blade. Now, price-wise, I didn't mention that yet. That Protech is $320 for this version. You can get the non-textured in the blue or black for about $250 when you can find them. But look how much harder it is going through this cardboard. You know, the blades are the same thickness. They both have about the same shape cutting edge. The only difference is that coating on the Malibu. And it just carves right through that cardboard. Very little friction going through it at all. That's the way I expect a knife with this geometry to go through it. Let's look at this Protech. Yeah, see? Must have crushed that cardboard. It feels like it's got 50% more friction. Now put in the comments, I mean, do you think it's the coating on this blade? That's really the only thing I could think would make the difference. I've never been fond of coatings on blades, but I didn't think it'd make this big a difference. You think I should... Look at that. You think I should try to take the coating off this blade? Just sand it off? Think it would make a difference? Anybody done that? Let me know in the comments if you've had any success. Yeah. Starflare. Much better. Now this is a piece of live oak. If you're familiar with live oak, it is a very hard piece of wood. Even a small stick like this is very hard to carve. It's not like regular oak. It's got a lot denser grain than just regular oak. It's not doing too bad. Definitely not carving into it like my buck 117. My buck 117 goes through this like crazy, but this is a little bit thicker behind the edge than the buck. Let's see what the Starflare does. No, it's like night and day, man. I knew this Starflare was going to do good, but I thought the Malibu was going to do real good too. The Starflare, when it comes to cutting, it is blowing the Protech way out of the water. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Civivi wins. The Protech is a cool knife, and that doesn't mean I'm not going to carry it in my pocket and show it off, but when it comes to practicality, that $75, $80 Civivi blew away that $320 knife. Goes to show you, it's not always about the money. Well, hey, thanks friends for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe. I got a lot more cool knives coming up and a lot more cool giveaways. Once again, thanks for viewing.